Hi friends, Elise Anmchara here for Anmchara Astrology. Welcome. Happy new moon, blessed new moon, Scorpio new moon. I'm actually doing this the day after the new moon. The moon is still technically in Scorpio, but the moon is currently void of course, and the moon will be moving into Sagittarius later this evening. It'll be moving into Sagittarius at 8:52 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, if you know me, if you've watched my channel, if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I'm a huge moon void of course person. I can't help it. My moon and my Mercury are conjunct one another in Cancer. So yes, I'm a very lunar creature. So please, if you only watch this much of the video, please know that if you have a lot of Cancer placements on your chart, to please mind the moon, and definitely mind these days where we have an extended void of course moon period, especially during, say, business hours. Also, in the comments you can check out how to find me on socials and also how to book a reading. That will all be in the comments. Please follow and subscribe. So just to go into this new moon, first off, new moons are incredibly powerful periods of time where, we start a new period. We plant seeds of intention that will grow with the waxing of the moon over these next 2 weeks. This is an extremely powerful time. The veil is still incredibly thin. We've just had Halloween, Samhain, All Saints Day, All Souls Day. This is a time of year that in every single culture we recognize that we are not alone, that we are part of spiritual continuum, and that there are certain elements of our existence that are important, although not quantifiable. These are things that need to be explored and experienced with the soul, with the emotional body, and they are not so much the domain of the mental, rational thought. That being said, today we also have Mercury moving out of Libra, fair-minded Libra, into a much more exacting and tenacious and even scrutinizing Scorpio. So energy is about to get a lot more dead ass, but it's also about to get a lot more pragmatic, I feel. We do have Venus in Capricorn today also, and it will be supporting this Sun and Mars and Mercury in Scorpio. Water and earth go really, really well together. So all right, friends, Elise Anmchara here for Anmchara Astrology. If you're here with me for the first segment, you will notice that I have changed locations. I'm now outside. I'm now joined by my wonderful sister Hannah, and I'm going to continue on the new moon in Scorpio. I feel like we've just had like numerous catastrophes or just like total transformations of situations by like the death of previous expectations, and that's exactly what Scorpio new moon is about. It is a death and a rebirth, okay? And just like surrendering to the death and just going through it so that you know that there will be a rebirth on the other side. So we have a few more hours, even though the moon is void of course, but we do have a few more hours of the moon in Scorpio before it goes into Sagittarius. And I'm just gonna say that if you have not experienced a surrender, a death, and giving yourself the space to emotionally, psychically, physically, be reborn, then do that. Even if it's, even if it means like exercising till the point of failure, not actual death, but, to the point of failure, or, le petite mort, la petite mort, is that how you say it? You can also like get one of those in, but whatever it is, if you haven't experienced the transition, that death that this new moon is really bringing in, for you to be able to start a whole new, brand new process, then definitely participate in one and recognize that death is an equally important part of life. We also have Venus moving into Capricorn, and that is going to give our Sun and Mercury, which is also moving into Scorpio. Capricorn is going to support Scorpio, which is good, but it's also going to be a lot more dead ass, and that's why I feel like, because this week has been very tense, and we have the end of Mercury in Libra, wanting fairness, wanting beauty and balance, and having a lot of intensity, having the power struggles, the control games, just that fucking weight of Scorpio come up on it, that and we've had nice trines from and sextiles with Jupiter and Saturn that are in Aquarius, and while Venus is in Sagittarius, like, I kind of hope like we got our kicks and then also learned what absolutely needed to be changed, and then had that death that lets us change the game plan, because this very serious and like goal-driven, goal-oriented, ambitious Venus in Capricorn, it's going to want us to get down to business. That is what is going to make us happy. When we systemize the change and get really focused and really singular about, one thing at a time, going towards the goal, it's all business. That's how I really feel about it. It's like just fucking all business. And Scorpio's getting to the truth of it. So there is still going to be this intensity and this research, this getting to the actual. Like, someone presents you with the answer and you're like, no, I want to know what's behind that. Like, I need to see the man behind the curtain before I'm satisfied in making a decision. Also, by the way, I think I said this before, but the moon is void of course right now, and it will be until 8:20 something tonight p.m. Eastern time. So if you're having a difficult time making a decision, just know that just probably hold off on that decision until after the moon ends its void of course and it finally moves into Sagittarius. Otherwise, the things can just be difficult to be done to completion, or most importantly to a satisfactory completion, so that you don't have to go back and do it again later. The good news is, while this week started kind of weird, maybe a little like pie in the sky, maybe a little unfocused, and then moved into some extreme just difficulties. Like, I feel like it was a real clunker of a week, but on like a also very intense level. And I know that yesterday, when the new moon was full, was exact, I had such tremendous energy. I felt such tremendous intensity. I felt really empowered and very serious about the changes that I wanted to see in myself, in my life, and in the world. And that felt really great. And I felt like I was really empowered from this like feminine, divine feminine place that knows darkness. I wrote, if you looked at my new moon blog post on Anmchara Astrology.com, I said, one of the main differences between the Mars rule, like Mars, Aries, positive, masculine, fire sign, and this will that we talk about of Pluto and Scorpio, because before the discovery of Pluto, the sign of Scorpio was ruled by Mars. And so they both have to do with will. Oh my gosh, I'm getting attacked by a fucking insect. Well, they both have to do with will. One is like the will, like the physical will, or even we could say like the will of man, the will while you're in human form. While Pluto is this higher octave, and it talks about the soul's will. And I also love the fact that it is a feminine iteration of this will that we talk about. It's like the will of spiritual continuum. And so when it gets down to things, yeah, the warrior who is, war ready all the time, he's here for battle all the time, that might seem scarier or more domineering, dominant, and initially, right? But when you get to OG divine feminine energy, it is like, this is someone who knows the power of surrender. This is one that knows, like, there's a slowness about their rage, about what it is that they're about to bring to the fight. And it is scary. It's also awesome. Like, it's really great. So I know that I wrote in the blog post, when masculine, like when Mars goes to battle or like accepts a challenge, it says, see you in the ring. But when Scorpio accepts a challenge, she says, I'll see you in hell. And she totally means it. So we're in this hell energy, and we're in this very intense shadow energy. And this is very important because things need to start, things need to be changed, things need to transform from the root to really make the changes that we're looking to make in ourselves and in the world right now. And we're totally being supported in doing that. You just cannot shy away from the information that is coming to you about your root, about what really exists there, about the root and the shadow of others, about the truth that is in the things that are not being said, in the things that are, can be felt but are not necessarily seen. This is the information that we're going to be garnering as Scorpio Mercury continues. I mean, it's just brand new today. So it's really important to experience that. And if you're someone who likes to spiritually bypass your shadow or the harder or more intense aspects of life, the things that are not, sugar-coated or easy to laugh off, then you might have a little more work to do, or more importantly, do something that will put you in that place so that you are, because you won't get as much out of this period if you're not allowing yourself to do that. Also, I was listening to Rasa Leela earlier, and he said something about that. Obviously, he rails on about people spiritually bypassing all the time. It was one particular a tactic of spiritually bypassing, which is to just always act happy all the time and enthusiastic. And even when you are given like a totally awful piece of information, and it and you're just like, oh, hey, that's great, da da da. He said he reads that energetically. He feels that way as like a kind of emotional immaturity. And I literally just had that very same impression, and I had just come to understand that in my life like 2 weeks before. So I've been having this kind of thing where I experience something and I want to do a video about it, and then I don't, and then literally between a week and 2 weeks later, Rasa Leela is saying exactly what I wanted to say, and like saying it so dead on. He said a bunch more stuff too, but it's happened 3 times in the past, say, 8 weeks, so I'm excited about it. I think we're on to something. Have to check out his chart. Let's do a comparison. Anyway, there might be a lot of like loose ends that we thought would have buttoned up by Friday this week. But they might continue on to next week. And what I'm going to say about that is, it's really important to take what it is that you've learned this week. We've had transformation, whether or not you've experienced, a conscious transformation, death, surrender, and now we're getting ready for the rebirth, right? As the moon waxes. Put some boundaries around like your time, your me time or whatever. Don't just because something that doesn't get buttoned up or finished by the end of this week feels like it's going to spill over into the weekend because of the kind of exertion, whether it was emotional. I know I was blubbering last night. That's another reason why I didn't do a video as the new moon was happening, because I went from very determined, very focused, very whatever to I felt like the whole weight of existence was on me, and I was really not okay. but also I feel much lighter now that I've let that out. So in any case, because of this huge energy release, and now we're reforming after the chaos, Scorpio, Pluto energy, Plutonian energy is change after, like catastrophic, like fallout, because that's the only way that you get a soul level transformation. We need that rest period. It's just like if you exercise or something all the way to exhaustion, all the way to failure, that your body needs that rest period. It's as important to the rebuild process, to the strengthening process, as the actual lifting or the actual activity that is exerting the exercise or the energy. So even if you have stuff that spills over into your weekend, I think it's really important to be like, I will deal with this on Monday, because we'll have a lot more energy that's working in support of each other. We will have had a little more time to get into this Scorpio Mercury and this Venus Capricorn. And of course, Venus Capricorn is mad industrious. So if you're trying to get anything done, if it's about business, Venus and Capricorn is a good place to be. So give yourself this weekend to be that repair period, that relaxation period, and don't try to penetrate, which I know this, co-ruled, Mars co-ruled Scorpio energy can kind of feel like, I need to get ahead of the game. I need to assert my will. And you can do that, but you should probably do it in a restful way and get back to the to-do list on Monday. Anyway, thank you so much. I am Elise Anmchara. Again, information to book readings and to follow me on social media is in the comments. And please follow and subscribe, and I will see you soon. Peace. Hi friends, thank you for watching the super ADD astrology download here by me, Elise Anmchara from Anmchara Astrology. This is obviously why you can tell I don't do a ton of astrology videos, because I'm all over the place, but I did want to mention that the opposition between the new moon in Scorpio and Uranus, and also the opposition between Mars and Uranus, is something that is really urging us, challenging us to make these soul level transformations a reality, an actual, tangible, physical reality. We can feel this urge of just complete transformation tingling in all of our physical senses, as well as in our psyche and deep down in our soul. So, this is the exact energy that completely zapped my energy when I wanted to do a video yesterday, right around the actual conjunction of the sun and the moon in Scorpio. And I have got to say that all of a sudden my energy changed, and all of a sudden I was tired, and all of a sudden my mind became electrified with all of these different things that then fell into something that felt like fear and despair, and just this it wasn't a pure sadness, but I did whatever it was as to process it. I really, really, really just had to cry it out. And I definitely felt the presence of some people that I know that have passed on with me, one of which is a friend of mine who just recently passed, and also someone that was definitely related to me, female. It was one of two females, and it was just you are supported from beyond, and at the same time we can feel the beyond all around us, and the deaths that we are experiencing in our life in our relationships, in our financial situations, in all aspects of life and human existence and human consciousness. You know, those people that we knew in life that have passed on, mirroring back to us that we can keep going. You know, this death isn't that death, you know, it's not the shaking of your mortal coil death. And this too shall pass. You know, you will not be the same person on the other side of it. And that is also part of life. You know, we've been lied to thinking that life is linear. You know, it is most certainly cyclic, and we are most certainly part of a spiritual continuum. So to hold tight and to hold on to your most authentic self and let everything else just fucking die. Like, let it fall away. You know, you are the secret ingredient, and these transformations are allowing you to move past and beyond that which is unnecessary, that has really been in the way of your most deepest desires and what your soul is most determined to accomplish. So while we are feeling this weight, also allow yourself to surrender to, you know, so that you can really enjoy the feeling of unburden after you've had this cathartic moment. It may not be comfortable, but you'll feel great afterwards. Anyway, thank you guys so much. Again, Elisa Anmchara for Anmchara Astrology. Peace.